to get ahead in this world where nobody wants you to really get ahead. So first off, DEIZSHEL, how you doing today?
I'm absolutely wonderful. Thanks for asking.
Well, it's great to have you. Great to meet you. And everybody that comes in, hit that thumbs up button if you have not done that yet, and also subscribe and everything else. DEIZSHEL, let's just jump right to it. So, DEIZSHEL, you and I were just talking, and you were talking about fluctuating interest rates, bad money moves that we make, wants versus needs, and how sometimes we don't know the difference between wants and needs. Let's start with one of the things you said to me a few minutes ago that I thought was really interesting. You were talking about the why, like when it comes to spending your money, understanding your why, like why are you spending it? Why do you need that Gucci bag? Why do you need whatever? Can you talk more about that?
Sure. We're programmed by society by what we see to think that things mean wealth. And those things, the Fendi bag, the diamond earrings, the red bottoms, the suit by Calvin Klein, we're all looking good on the outside. And our bank account is sitting on zero. So we're painting a facade to the world because we're perpetrating because we haven't even begun to look at why we're spending our money the way that we do. In order to understand that, it's not something that's instant. It's not something that most people get. It's a work. You have to be willing to do some work to get into the why. When you get upset, why do you go shopping? Why do you need the Fendi bag as opposed to a regular bag, a Levi bag? Tapping into understanding how you are relating to the world with money. Because most of us, not all of us, we're an exception because we're trying to change the mindset of money, is that wealth is not associated with things. The first tool in wealth is yourself. You are worthy. You are worthy enough to have a sustainable financial future for you and your children. How do you do that? What is your why? So I have a program where I sit down with you and we talk about your life experience. We journal, we map out a plan, and we watch over a 30-day period what you're actually doing, the feeling associated with why you did what you did. And as we watch that over time, because it can't be instant can be too soon. We
Mm.
formulate a game plan together with actionable steps so that you can achieve your financial goals and start shifting your mindset to understanding wealth is about building legacy and not about things. And this is where the homeownership piece comes in, Dr. Watkins. I am a licensed originator. That means I'm authorized by the federal government and most states to do both residential and commercial loans. We've been taught by society, especially now, that the interest rates are so high, they're 8%. People are waiting for them to go down to 2.5%, 3%. Let me be the first to say it's not going to happen. That's a dream. Interest
Mm.
rates, they did already say they're going to do 3 cuts in 2024, but a more realistic number, 5.5%, 6.5%. The
Mm-hmm.
days where people are sitting around hoarding their money at 0% because they're waiting for the bubble to bust, well, honestly, it's not. And let me explain to you why. As much as there's demand for good housing in good areas, and we're talking Maryland, Georgia, Atlanta, DC, the inventory is short. So as long as there's not enough inventory in the right areas, that's going to keep the price going up. People are saying the
Mm.
price is going to take a deep dive. They may go down a little, but not in those areas. You may can
Mm-hmm.
go to Alabama. You may can go to Ohio, but that's a different real estate market.
Mm.
I want to
Well,
say to all of you listeners out there that you need to understand it because we're brainwashed. We've been told that you need a 640 credit score in order to buy a house. You need a 660 credit score in order to become a homeowner. That's a myth. Let me do the myth buster right now. For a Federal Housing Administration loan, your credit score has to be 580. Let me take that back. It can be even 500 if you put 10% down. People ask all the time, well, DEIZSHEL, does that mean I pay a higher rate? Well, yes. Your credit score is not the greatest. But let's be very realistic. Right now, regardless of what kind of mortgage, other than Veterans Administration, loan you get in America, you have to hold it for 1 year. It used to be after 6 months you could refinance. The game's changed. Now they're saying whenever you get a loan, you have to keep it for 12 months, except for VA. So that means that you're going to have that interest rate for however long you have it. But here's what you need to know. The interest rate is going to change. So you're taking your time thinking, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to wait till the rates drop. Numbers don't lie, guys. Please take some time and do the simple math. You're paying $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year. What's the interest rate on 100% of zero return? Because every time you pay rent, every time they're paying rent, they're paying somebody's mortgage.
Yeah, when you're paying rent, you're gonna pay a lot of money. That's true.
They're giving it away. And here it is. The Federal Housing Administration loans, they only require 3.5% down with a 580 credit score. 3.5%. There are so many states that are offering down payment assistance program, such as the SHNOA. The SHNOA grant gives 6%. We have programs out there where we have for conventional loans, and conventional loans, it used to be 640. Now you can get a conventional loan with a 620 credit score. And get this, Dr. Boyce, they just changed this in November. If you buy an investment property or a second home, they used to require 20%. Now they only require 5%. No more that 20%. So you don't, here's what I want you guys to get. You don't need a lot of money to buy a house. You don't. You're sitting there waiting, and I say this, and I really, guys, need you to follow the numbers. Take a look at your 401k. Look at it what it was last year. Look at it what it is right now. In most cases, you will see that you had some losses. You're living now. You have your whole life ahead of you. If you sit there and let that money dwindle down, you don't want to be the greeter at the Walmart because you watch your money disappear.
Now, when you said the greeter at the Walmart, are you talking about retirement more so, like not preparing long term in terms of wealth building, and then being stuck kind of working? Now, let's talk about that for a minute. And by the way, I want everybody to know that DEIZSHEL SETzer, her name is on the screen. You can find it there. And also her website is mymortgagequeen.com. And I want to make sure everybody knows that. So you can go look up DEIZSHEL. She can actually help you. She is a licensed mortgage broker, and also she's licensed in credit repair. So if you'd like to connect with her, she is part of the Black Business School. She's very smart, a very nice lady. And also I met her at the Power Networking Conference with George Frazier. That's another way that we know each other. So feel free to go to mymortgagequeen.com. I want to give everybody the URL. So let's talk about retirement. I read somewhere, DEIZSHEL, that most people are not ready for retirement. And I know that for our people, I imagine it's just tenfold in terms of the problem. What's going on in terms of retirement? What's that going to look like in this country, say 20, 30 years from now?
Well, here it is. You're never too young to start preparing for retirement. What happens to us, colored people, is we don't tend to think that we're going to get old. And then when we finally have a health scare at 50, diabetes, heart attack, hypertension. We start getting these things 35, 40 years old. We didn't prepare because, as you know, or will know if you're young, the older you get, in order to get appropriate insurance, the more money it costs. So, in order to prepare to be financially set for 20 and 30 years from now, you have to do one thing, a couple things. Number one, you have to have insurance. Get it while you're young. Get it while you're young and you're healthy. Healthy. Number two, follow Dr. Boyce Watkins. He gives great stock advice. Don't be afraid to dibble and dabble into territories that you're unfamiliar with. Invest in something that's going to grow your money, real estate. Maybe you don't want to be a homeowner. Maybe you just want to be an investor. There are now investor programs, Dr. Boyce, starting with a 740 credit score, no documentation, none. You just need funds to close. Now that's heavy.
Now, what kind of programs are these again?
That's a DSCR. That's a no doc loan. Do you remember back in the 80s when the housing crash, when everybody got these no doc loans?
Yeah.
But a no doc loan is back with a vengeance. Why do you think that's happening? 740 credit scores.
A lot of people don't know this.
Well, here it is. From an investor standpoint, if you truly can afford that mortgage payment, it's a great product. There's no mortgage insurance on it, none whatsoever. You can have down payment assistance to go with your investment property now. It can be guaranteed by Fannie or Freddie. Now they're loosened the string, so it's no longer for primary first-time home buyers. So there are a lot of programs, if whether you're trying to invest or just trying to buy your first property, what you need to do is be making money moves to build your wealth for your future.
Okay. Interesting. Well, is everybody else impressed with this and finding this knowledge helpful? Let me know in the chat. Hey, El Haj, I see you in there. And Letitia, I see you in there as well. Let's see here. Let's see. El Haj is asking, what's the interest on a DSCR? He says he heard that it's around 10%. Is that the case?
That's true, but that's just true. But think about it. Most houses today, most loans are around 300,000. So your mortgage insurance is typically between $250 and $300 a month. This loan doesn't have any mortgage insurance at all. You're not producing any documents except proof that you have funds to close. It is the perfect loan to become an investor out of the gate. You don't have to be a homeowner to get a DSCR. You can start off being an investor. 740 credit score at 80%. You do need 20% down. But 20% down with no mortgage insurance to start a legacy, finding something in the right community that you can rent out. It doesn't have to be a single family. It could be a multi-dwelling. So you have an opportunity now, and if your score is right and your finances is right, to elevate your economic condition substantially right now.
Yes. Yeah, you know what, DEIZSHEL, one thing that's really interesting is what I like about what you're saying, and I want everybody to know that DEIZSHEL's website is mymortgagequeen.com. So if you'd like to talk to her personally, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I can't do endorsements on the channel per se, but I can say that I think DEIZSHEL's worth talking to find out what she's got going on, because as you can see, there's valuable information being dropped here. One thing, DEIZSHEL, is that even at a higher interest rate, what you said about, like, what's it really worth to you to start a legacy? I think that's a really important way to kind of look at it too. You and I both remember the times where borrowing at 10, 12, 13, 14% was very common. I mean, there was a time where interest rates were double digits all the time. So when people were like, oh my God, the mortgage is 7%, what am I going to do? I'm like, there was a time where people would have rejoiced. They would have jumped at the chance to borrow at 7%. Right. So it seems like we've maybe lost some perspective on the fact that money is supposed to have a fee attached to it. There's supposed to be some sort of interest rate attached to money that we just were very lucky the last 10, 15 years.
Yes. Now, this is how I look at it. You said some things that are very true. We're conditioned. We're listening to that 2.5 I even refinance customers at 1.75. That's true.
Wow.
Those days are gone. Those days are not going to come back. So let's talk about what we're going to do now, because houses in the right area, in the right school zone, in the right neighborhood, they're going to increase in value. You're not going to buy a house that's in a depleted neighborhood that nobody want to live there. When you pick a house, you should have done the history research and watch how that house had trended, grown in value over time, because that's the area you want to invest in. So if you look at it this way, the money that you have sitting in your 401k that's been dwindling down, not making any money for you, you can pull that money out, buy you and your family in a house or an investment property, and gain financially. Because I don't know anything right now. A savings account, which you're going to get 5%. You're going to get 5%. The housing market is such in a state that in Maryland right now, our year end, we were at 21% and increased value. The values are going to continue to increase because there's a housing shortage for areas that are in demand. So why not make you and your family a part of your future, a part of your legacy, being able to pass on ownership? You get to write that off on your taxes. A lot of people are working from home today. That space they use to work from home, that's a write-off. The equipment they use to work from home, that's a write-off. Your property taxes, that's a write-off. So you're making an investment in your future. You're using the money you have now opposed to waiting. And I'm not trying to offend anybody, because you can tell I'm on a little bit on the mature side. Don't wait till you're 50, 40, 60 years old to start living your best life. Let your money work for you. See, money is an instrument. It's a vehicle. It's supposed to be moving. It's a currency. You need to understand that investing in real estate, even at 8%, it's an investment opportunity. It's a vehicle to generate wealth. You have to do that for your legacy. Have to. It shouldn't be a question. There are a lot of down payment programs, as I said, out here to help you. There's no such thing as bad credit. There's only credit that needs improvement, and we can get you there. The point is, you have to be willing to take the step.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I love it, and I'm gonna say this to everybody that what she says is so true. You want to get in the game. Don't sit on the sideline, especially with real estate. I'm gonna tell you, DeShell, I do not mess with real estate when it comes to buying at the right time. The right time, 9 times out of 10 for good property, the right time is now. We sit back and we say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait for the price to go down," and it don't go down. Good real estate does not go down in value. There's almost no. There are very few places in the country. Tell me if I'm wrong. There are very few places in the country where the value of the property is lower now than it was 10 years ago. That
Exactly.
if you sat around 10 years ago in 2010, I saw something to show that was so funny. It was a video from the 1980s, and they were complaining about how crazy expensive the homes in San Diego had gotten. And they said, "Can you believe that the average home price in San Diego is $83,000?" And some lady said, "Oh, I can't. I'm not gonna buy now. It's too expensive."
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Okay. You go ahead and sit back and you pass up the chance to buy 83. You'll be buying at $500,000 or $1 million, because we know San
Exactly.
Diego is just a super hot real estate market. So I love what you're doing. And I want to give everybody your URL and before we get done. And I'm going to also let you have the last word. And
Okay.
also, I want everybody to know I'm speaking with DEIZSHEL SETzer. And her website, everybody, she's a licensed mortgage broker and also a licensed credit. She's licensed in credit repair as well, so she can help you. Her website is mymortgagequeen.com. That's mymortgagequeen.com. Everybody type that in the chat so everybody can see it, mymortgagequeen.com. And I assume if people go to your website, they can email you, reach out, or send
They
you
can email me, and Dr. Likes, I like to give my phone number because I talk to people. I I want to empower the world. The only way to do that is through real conversations. I don't
Mm.
hide behind Facebook and a bus of messaging. If you're serious about wanting to change your life, to invest in your financial future, to build your credit, become a homeowner or investor, please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone and give me a call. My number
Mm.
is 443 473 6701. That's 443 473 6701. Take a step. You are so worth it. Your family is worth it. Your legacy is waiting for you to take control. It's okay to be scared, because if it doesn't scare you, it cannot grow you. We're
Yes.
about growth. We're about growth. And
Mm.
we're to be one network, you got to be about growth. Got to be about change, because change is consistent.
Yes.
Change is how we're going to grow.
Yes. I love it. And what state are you in, by the way?
I'm in Maryland, but I'm licensed in
Maryland.
every state. So we don't have to worry about where you're located physically, because in a
Okay.
world where we have Zoom and Google Meets, we can meet up anywhere.
I love it. I love this. Okay, well, I'm gonna give everybody the phone number and the website one more time in case you want to reach out to DEIZSHEL. DEIZSHEL, her website is mymortgagequeen.com. That's mymortgagequeen.com. And also her phone number is 443-473-6701. 443-473-6701. I'd like to repeat it, DEIZSHEL, because we have people that are listening on Spotify, because this podcast is there as well. And I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to know who you are. And I tell you what, this has been a fruitful conversation, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you for hanging
Thank
out. It's very, very nice to talk to you again.
Thank you for giving so much to the world. I can't thank you enough for all that you do. If nobody ever says to you, this is one Black woman right here who you helped change my life, and I feel forever
Wow.
grateful. Thank you so
Wow. Well, I am grateful for your gratefulness and for your wonderful words. And I'll tell you what, we're gonna talk again, because I
much.
tell you
Okay.
that y'all got, see, people got to learn that folks like yourself that do what you do are so important to the community, because we got so many people that are on big platforms because they provide entertainment, or they make
Oh,
people
wow.
laugh, or they can
Yeah.
make music and everything else, and that's all wonderful, but that's not gonna secure your legacy. That's not gonna put your children in a home. That's not going to give them financial security. All these other things, those are distractions. This is the real stuff, y'all. So I need y'all to make sure we respect the queens and the kings that are really doing this. And so the website is mymortgagequeen.com. And DEIZSHEL, very nice to meet you. And you will hear
Thank
from me
you.
as well, because I love what you're doing. So y'all have a wonderful day. God bless you,
Thank you.
everybody. And nice to see you, DEIZSHEL. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
All
Thanks.
right. Bye-bye.